All right, so today we're hopping in our time machine.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to head back to 2020.
Okay.
We are diving deep into the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite.
All right.
Specifically, a review from rechargemytoepup.com.
Cool.
Yeah, and basically we're going to try to figure out what this tablet was all about back in 2020 and how it stacks up in our, techie world of 2024.
Right. Yeah. How does it hold up looking back at it now?
Exactly.
I think that's a fun way to look at technology, actually.
Yeah.
You can really see how things change.
Yeah, totally.
And what features really kind of stand the test of time.
For sure.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, so let's set the scene.
Okay.
April 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Things are a little different in the world.
Yeah, a little bit.
Samsung drops this tablet, and it's targeted at students, artists,
Okay.
anyone who loves a good stylus.
Makes sense.
We will definitely be talking about that S Pen in detail later.
All right. Looking forward to that.
But first, let's talk screen real estate. The Tab S6 Lite has a 10.4-inch display.
That's a good size.
Yeah, pretty generous for a tablet.
Yeah.
But the thing about this display is it uses TFT technology.
Right. TFT. So that stands for thin film transistor.
Yeah.
Now, back then, that was kind of the standard for mid-range tablets.
Okay.
Basically, it's a type of LCD screen, which means it's not quite as vibrant or sharp as the AMOLED screens that we see in higher-end tablets these days.
Oh, okay.
I like to think of it this way. TFT gives you a perfectly good view, clear and bright, but it's not going to blow you away with, super rich colors or deep blacks like an AMOLED would.
Okay, so decent screen, but not top of the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay. What about the brains of the operation?
Yeah, the processor.
The Tab S6 Lite had an Exynos 9611 processor.
The Exynos, huh?
Yeah, not a household name, is it?
It's not a Snapdragon, that's for sure.
Right. So break it down for us. Was this thing a powerhouse back in 2020?
Well, the Exynos 9611 was a solid mid-range processor.
Okay.
It could handle everyday tasks without breaking a sweat. Think of it like this. It's the reliable sedan of the processor world.
Okay.
Not the flashy sports car.
Gotcha.
You could browse the web, check emails, stream videos,
Okay.
all smooth sailing.
Okay.
But if you were like a power user, someone who loves to edit videos on the go,
Yeah.
play graphics-heavy games,
Okay.
you might have hit some speed bumps with this processor.
So not a deal breaker for a casual user.
Right, exactly.
But maybe not for someone who's doing, more intensive stuff.
Yeah, not for the hardcore techies.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now let's talk storage.
Okay.
We all know that feeling of our devices getting clogged up with photos and
Yeah.
videos.
Too many photos.
Right, and everything else.
You got to delete some stuff.
The Tab S6 Lite came with 64 gigabytes of built-in storage,
All right.
which is pretty decent.
Yeah, not bad.
But the real game changer was the micro SD card slot.
Oh, yeah. Expandable storage.
Yes.
Very important.
And this little guy lets you expand that storage up to a whopping 1 terabyte.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
1 terabyte. That is a ton of space.
Right. That's like
A lot of space.
a whole external hard drive back in the day.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's amazing.
Right. Okay, so in 2020, expandable storage.
Huge advantage.
Yeah, especially for their target audience.
Yeah. Students, artists,
Yeah.
anyone creating large files.
Exactly. Or just, your average digital pack rat. People like me.
I'm guilty of that too.
This micro SD slot gave you freedom to just store tons of stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about running out of space.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Okay. Now let's get to the star of the show. The S Pen.
All right, let's talk about the S Pen.
This little stylus
Yeah.
was a huge selling point for the Tab S6 Lite.
Right.
And it's not just your average stylus, is it?
No, it is not your average stylus.
Right.
This is Samsung's S Pen technology, which is pretty special.
They use something called electromagnetic resonance, which basically means the pen interacts with the screen on a magnetic level.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what that means for the user is super low latency.
Okay.
Basically, there's almost no lag between your hand movement
Yeah.
and what you see on the screen.
Gotcha.
It feels really natural and responsive.
So no more of that annoying delay
Right.
when you're trying to jot down a note or sketch an idea.
Yeah, especially if you're an artist, that's really important.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of responsiveness.
Right.
And then you've also got the pressure sensitivity.
Oh.
So the S Pen can detect how hard you're pressing,
Oh, wow.
just like a real pen or brush.
Okay.
So you can create different line thicknesses, add shading, and really get expressive with your strokes.
So it sounds like they really put a lot of thought into making this S Pen experience,
Oh, yeah.
like as close to using a real pen and paper as possible.
For sure. That's the goal with these digital styluses. And to make it even better, they made it magnetically attachable to the side of the tablet.
Okay, so that's convenient.
Yeah, super convenient.
But are there any, like, downsides to that?
Well, convenience often comes with trade-offs.
Sure.
Magnetic storage is great for quick access, but it does make the S Pen more vulnerable to, like, accidental bumps or drops.
Oh, okay.
So some users might prefer a more secure storage slot, even if it meant a slightly bulkier design.
Makes sense.
It really just comes down to personal preference.
Yeah, totally.
What are you willing to compromise on?
Exactly.
Convenience versus security, that kind of thing.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of preferences, let's talk software.
Yeah.
The Tab S6 Lite came loaded with Android 10
Right.
and Samsung's One UI 2.0.
One UI 2.0.
Okay. Now, some of our listeners might be thinking, okay, that's cool, but what does that actually mean for me?
Right. What does that actually look like in practice?
Exactly.
Well, think of One UI as Samsung's custom flavor of Android. They took the core Android system and they added their own design touches,
Okay.
their own features, apps, to create a user experience that's both visually appealing and intuitive.
Okay.
And back in 2020, One UI 2.0 was known for being pretty user-friendly,
Okay.
even for those new to the Samsung ecosystem.
So not super intimidating for someone switching from, a different type of Android phone or tablet.
Exactly. It's designed to be easy to pick up,
Okay.
easy to navigate.
Gotcha.
And of course, it came with a bunch of pre-installed apps to get you started.
Oh, okay. Like which ones?
Well, like Samsung Notes, for example,
Oh, yeah.
which, as you might guess, works seamlessly with the S Pen.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about Samsung Notes.
Okay, yeah.
Is it just your basic note-taking app, or does it have any, special powers?
Samsung Notes is definitely more than just basic note-taking.
Okay.
I like to call it a digital notebook on steroids.
Okay. I like that.
It's got handwriting recognition, so you can convert your handwritten notes into text if you want. You can add audio recordings to your notes. You can sketch diagrams. You can even annotate PDFs.
Oh, wow.
It's a really powerful tool, especially when paired with the precision and responsiveness of the S Pen.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why this S Pen is such a game changer.
Oh, for sure.
It's like you have this digital artist's studio
Yeah.
and like a super powered notepad all in one.
It's pretty amazing what you could do with it.
Okay, now let's talk about those two things that I think everybody cares about.
All right, the important stuff.
Cameras and battery life.
Yeah, gotta have good cameras and battery life.
Now, most tablets aren't really known for their stellar cameras.
Yeah, they're not usually replacing your DSLR.
Right.
They're not professional grade.
So what's the situation here with the Tab S6 Lite?
Well, it had an 8-megapixel rear camera and a 5-megapixel front-facing camera.
Okay.
Perfectly adequate for things like video calls, scanning documents, maybe snapping a quick photo in a pinch,
Okay.
but not exactly professional-grade photography tools.
Okay, so maybe not winning any photography awards.
Right, not going to be on the cover of National Geographic,
Right.
but good enough for everyday use.
Yeah, good enough for the basics.
Exactly.
Okay, now battery power.
Okay, well, let's talk battery.
The Tab S6 Lite has a 7,040 milliamp battery.
Okay, so what does that translate to in terms of actual usage?
Yeah, like how many hours can I expect to get out of this thing?
Well, that 7,040 milliamp battery was pretty impressive for a tablet of that size.
Okay.
You could easily get through a full day
Okay.
of mixed use, so browsing, watching videos, taking notes,
Okay.
without needing to hunt for a charger.
So perfect for, long study sessions.
Yeah,
Or flights where you don't want to be tethered to an outlet.
exactly. That's the dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Okay, so we've covered the brains, we've talked about the screen, we've talked about that note-taking wizardry,
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a pretty good tablet.
and the battery power.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the design, like how this thing actually looks and feels in your hands. The review highlights a slim, lightweight design, which is always a plus for portability.
Oh, for sure. Nobody wants a bulky tablet.
Right,
You got to be able to take it with you
exactly.
easily.
And it mentions a metal unibody construction.
Oh, fancy.
So what does that actually mean for the overall feel of the tablet?
So a metal unibody gives the tablet a much more premium look and feel
Okay.
compared to, say, plastic construction.
Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
The difference between a flimsy paperback and a sturdy hardcover book.
Okay, yeah.
The metal adds a touch of elegance,
Okay.
It also makes it a bit more durable.
So less likely to get, scratched or dented.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you drop it in your bag.
Yeah, a little more peace of mind.
Yeah, exactly.
And they offered some fun color options, too.
Oh,
You could get an Oxford gray,
okay.
Angora blue,
Oh, nice.
and chiffon pink.
I'm digging the chiffon pink, personally.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, let's run through the connectivity options.
Okay.
The review mentions Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, and a USB Type-C port.
All right, so was that pretty standard for 2020?
Yeah, was there anything particularly notable?
Yeah, that was all pretty much the standard for mid-range tablets at the time.
Okay.
The USB Type-C was a welcome addition, though.
Okay. How so?
Well, it offered faster charging
Oh, okay.
and data transfer speeds compared to the older micro USB.
Oh, okay.
So it was a nice upgrade
Yeah.
in terms of connectivity.
Awesome. Oh, I almost forgot.
What's that?
The review mentions Samsung DeX support.
Oh, yeah, DeX.
Now, I know some of our listeners might not be familiar with that.
Right.
Can you give us the quick explainer?
Yeah, of course.
What is this thing?
Imagine this. You're on the go working on your tablet, and suddenly you need a more desktop-like setup.
Okay, yeah, I could see that happening.
That's where Samsung DeX comes in.
Okay.
Basically, it transforms your tablet into a mini computer,
Oh, wow.
letting you connect it to a monitor, keyboard, and mouse.
Oh, that's pretty slick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a pretty cool feature.
Especially for someone who wants to transition from, casual browsing to more serious work without having to lug around a laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Now for the part where things get a little more nuanced. Performance.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty.
We know the Exynos 9610 wasn't the absolute top-of-the-line processor back in 2020.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So let's talk about the real-world impact of that.
Okay, so what you're asking is,
If I'm using this tablet,
yeah, what are you to notice?
am I going to notice that it's not the best processor?
Well, while the Exynos 9611 could handle everyday tasks smoothly,
Okay.
users might have experienced some lag or slowdowns when running more demanding apps.
Okay, what kind of apps are we talking about?
Things like, playing graphics-intensive games
Okay.
or doing a lot of multitasking.
Okay.
So it really all boils down to what you're actually using the tablet for, right? If you're just browsing the web,
Uh-huh.
checking emails, watching videos, probably not a big deal.
Okay.
But if you're a hardcore gamer
Yeah.
or trying to edit huge video files on the go,
Right.
maybe not ideal.
Gotcha. So you're saying it's all about matching the tool to the task.
Exactly. Know your needs,
Yeah.
know your usage patterns.
Okay, so know yourself, know your tablet.
Know thyself, know thy tablet.
I like that.
It's ancient wisdom.
Okay, let's round things out with some of the other notable features.
Okay, yeah, what else is there?
The review highlights the AKG-tuned dual speakers and Dolby Atmos support.
Oh, nice.
And I'm all about good sound quality.
Yeah, me too. That's important.
So how did those features impact the listening experience?
For sure.
Say if you're watching a movie on this thing or listening to music.
Yeah, I mean, having AKG-tuned speakers and Dolby Atmos support definitely makes a noticeable difference.
Okay.
The sound quality should be richer, more balanced,
Okay.
and more immersive
Okay.
than what you typically get from standard tablet speakers.
So you're saying I might actually enjoy watching a movie on this thing.
You might even find yourself reaching for it over your phone for casual listening or video watching.
Interesting.
It's all about those little extras that enhance the user experience.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sold on the sound.
It's a little thing sometimes.
Okay, now back to the S Pen for a minute.
Okay, let's revisit the S Pen.
The review dives a bit deeper into its features and
yeah.
specifically calls out the pressure sensitivity, which we touched on earlier,
Yeah, we talked about that.
and something called screen off memo.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool feature.
Okay, let's talk about those.
Okay, so pressure sensitivity, as we mentioned, allows for more natural and expressive drawing and writing.
Yeah.
It really mimics the way a real pen or brush would behave on paper,
Okay.
which is, crucial for artists
Yeah.
and anyone who wants to take detailed notes.
So basically, it's not just about tapping and scribbling.
Right.
You can actually get really nuanced with it.
Exactly. It's about control and precision.
Okay, and what about screen off memo?
So screen off memo is a fantastic feature for those quick on the fly notes. You know, you can literally pull out the S Pen while the screen is off,
Okay.
jot down your thought, and it automatically saves it as a note.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Super handy for those moments of inspiration.
Yeah.
Or when you need to remember something quickly.
Yeah, like when you're half asleep
Exactly.
and you suddenly remember that you need to buy cat food.
Precisely. No more scrambling for a notepad in the dark.
I love that.
It's a lifesaver.
Okay, last feature call out. Kids mode.
Okay, kids mode.
Seems like a no-brainer for families.
Yeah, if you have kids, definitely.
But are the parental controls actually any good?
So kids mode is a great concept, right?
Yeah.
But the effectiveness of parental controls can vary widely.
Oh, okay.
In Samsung's case, they typically offer a decent level of control over app access,
Uh-huh.
screen time limits,
Yeah.
and content filtering.
Okay.
But, it's always wise for parents to do their own research,
Yeah.
test out the features, make sure they meet their specific needs and comfort levels.
Yeah, it never hurts to double check.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's time to talk about price and value.
Okay, the bottom line.
The review reminds us that this is a mid-range tablet.
Right.
So affordability was definitely a key factor back in 2020.
Makes sense.
Can you give us some context on how it's priced compared to competitors at the time?
Yeah, so the Tab S6 Lite was priced very competitively upon its release.
Okay.
It offered a lot of features, particularly the S Pen integration,
Yeah.
at a price point that was significantly lower than Samsung's flagship tablets,
Oh, wow.
and even undercut some comparable models from other brands.
Okay, so it sounds like it was hitting that sweet spot
Yeah, exactly.
of features and affordability.
That's the sweet spot you want to hit.
Okay, so let's recap.
Right.
What were the key selling points?
Okay, so the S Pen was undoubtedly a major draw,
Uh-huh.
especially for those in creative fields
Well, yeah.
or who valued note-taking capabilities. The impressive battery life was another big plus.
Yeah, all day usage, no problem.
Exactly. And you've got the AKG Tune speakers
Oh, yeah.
with Dolby Atmos support, which made for a much more enjoyable entertainment experience.
Right.
All that wrapped up in a slim, lightweight design with a premium feel.
Not bad.
It's a pretty good package.
Yeah, for a mid-range contender.
Yeah.
Okay, ultimate question. Was this tablet a good value for its intended purpose?
Based on the features and performance it offered at its price point, absolutely.
Okay, so it sounds like you're giving it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up for sure.
All right, so we've journeyed back to 2020. We've uncovered the secrets of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite.
We've been on a little adventure.
Yeah, we have.
Time.
We've explored its features,
Yeah.
its strengths,
Uh-huh.
maybe a few areas where it wasn't quite top of the line.
Yeah, there are always trade-offs.
But now comes the really interesting part.
Oh, okay, what's that?
We've got to shift our perspective.
Okay, how so?
It's 2024 now,
That's right.
and the tech landscape has changed.
It always does.
So the big question is, knowing what we know now about the Tab S6 Lite, would this have been the tablet for you back in 2020?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, and I want you, the listener, to think about that too.
Yeah, put yourself back in 2020.
Think about what you were doing back then, what your tech needs were like.
Yeah, what were your priorities back then?
Would this have fit the bill?
It's fascinating to look back at technology through that lens, isn't it?
Totally.
What we consider essential today might have been a luxury back then.
Right, and that's what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
It's not just about specs, it's about context.
Absolutely.
It's about understanding how technology evolves
Uh-huh.
and what truly matters to us as users.
And how our needs and expectations change over time, too.
For sure.
What might have been a perfectly acceptable camera or processor a few years ago
Yeah.
might feel quite limiting now.
Totally.
Technology keeps marching on,
It does.
and our needs evolve along with it.
Absolutely. So as you consider your tablet needs today in 2024,
Okay.
I want to leave you with this. How does the Tab S6 Lite stack up against the newer models out there?
Oh, yeah. That's the real test.
What features have become even more important to you?
Think about what you can't live without in a tablet now.
Yeah, what compromises are you no longer willing to make?
Exactly. Because technology keeps getting better.
And our expectations rise along with it.
So think about your budget, your priorities,
Yeah.
and how you envision using a tablet in your daily life.
Exactly, and then do a little digging.
Yeah.
Compare the Tab S6 Lite to the current contenders.
See how it holds up.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Maybe it's still a good option for some people.
Yeah, and who knows?
Or maybe you'll realize that technology has leaped forward in ways you didn't even imagine.
Yeah, totally.
Either way, it's a journey of discovery.
And that's what makes exploring the world of tech so exciting.
Absolutely. There's always something new to learn.
Couldn't agree more. All right, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a blast, and until next time,
Yeah.
keep those brains curious and stay informed.
Stay curious out there.
Okay, so we've established that the Tab S6 Lite was a pretty solid contender back in 2020.
Yeah, for sure. Especially at its price point.
Right, but now it's time to put on our 2024 glasses.
Right.
And see how it measures up against the current crop of tablets.
Yeah, the tech world moves fast.
It really does.
And what was considered cutting edge a few years ago might feel a little dated now.
Totally.
But that doesn't mean the Tab S6 Lite is completely irrelevant.
Right.
There are still some areas where it might hold its own, depending on your needs and budget, of course.
Exactly. So let's play a little game.
Okay.
Imagine you're shopping for a tablet today.
Right, I'm ready.
What are the non-negotiables? What are those features that you absolutely can't live without in 2024?
Well, for me, a bright, vibrant display is a must-have.
Oh.
You know, we've become spoiled by those gorgeous AMOLED screens.
Sure.
And it's hard to go back once you've experienced that richness and depth of color that they offer.
Yeah, once you go AMOLED, you can't go back.
Exactly.
So that's one area where the Tab S6 Lite's TFT screen might feel a bit lackluster.
Yeah, a little bit.
Compared to what's out there now?
In comparison, yeah.
Okay, what about processing power?
All right, let's talk processing power.
We know the Exynos 9611 was a decent workhorse back in 2020.
It got the job done.
Yeah, but how does it stack up against the processors in today's tablets?
There's been a significant leap in processor technology in the past few years.
For sure.
I mean, today's tablets are lightning fast.
Yeah.
Capable of handling, demanding tasks.
Like what kind of tasks are we talking?
Like video editing, gaming, multitasking, all that.
Okay.
Without breaking a sweat.
Okay.
The Exynos 9611, while reliable for everyday use, might struggle.
Okay.
With those power-hungry apps and processes.
So if you're a power user, someone who pushes their tech to the limits.
Yeah, if you're really trying to max it out.
You might want to look for a tablet with a more robust processor.
For sure, something a little more up-to-date.
But for those who primarily use their tablets for browsing, streaming, and light work.
Yeah, like casual use.
The Tab S6 Lite might still be a viable option.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about finding that balance,
Right. It all comes down to your individual needs and priorities.
Exactly. Figure out what you need it for.
Okay. Now let's talk about the S Pen.
Okay, back to the S Pen.
This was a standout feature for the Tab S6 Lite back in 2020.
Yeah, it was a big selling point.
But how does it compare to the styluses that are available today?
Samsung has continued to refine their S Pen technology.
Okay.
And the latest versions offer even lower latency,
Okay.
more pressure sensitivity levels,
Okay.
a wider range of features.
Okay, so they've definitely improved on it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But how does the 2020 version hold up?
Well, I'd say the S Pen on the Tab S6 Lite is still a very capable tool, especially for note-taking and sketching.
Okay.
It's responsive,
Okay.
accurate,
Uh-huh.
and it offers a pretty natural writing experience.
So, while it might not have all the bells and whistles of the latest S Pens...
Yeah, not all the fancy features.
It's still a solid option.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those who prioritize that good stylus experience.
Exactly. Gets the job done.
Okay. And speaking of features, what about the software?
Yeah.
How does Android 10 with One UI 2.0 hold up in 2024?
Well, Android 10 is a few versions behind the latest Android release.
Okay.
So you wouldn't be getting the newest features and security updates.
Right.
But One UI 2.0 was known for its user-friendliness and customization options. And it still offers a pretty smooth and intuitive experience.
Okay, so maybe not the most cutting-edge software?
Right. Not the latest and greatest.
But still a solid performer.
Yeah. It's still a good operating system.
For everyday use.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about those non-negotiables we were talking about?
Right, those must-have features.
What are some areas where the Tab S6 Lite might fall short in 2024?
One area that's seen significant improvement in recent years is camera technology.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Today's tablets boast some impressive cameras.
Yeah, they're getting really good.
Capable of capturing high-quality photos and videos.
Kind of crazy.
The Tab S6 Lite's cameras were decent for their time.
Okay.
But they wouldn't quite measure up
Okay.
to the capabilities of newer models.
So if you're someone who uses their tablet for photography or video calls...
Yeah, if that's a priority.
You might want to look for a model with a more advanced camera system.
For sure.
Okay, what about battery life?
All right, battery life, let's talk about it.
The Tab S6 Lite had a pretty impressive battery, but have newer tablets surpassed it in that department?
Battery technology has also come a long way.
Okay.
While the Tab S6 Lite's battery life was commendable, newer tablets offer even longer usage times, especially those with more power-efficient processors and displays.
So if you're looking for a tablet that can go the distance,
Yeah, like all day and then some.
you might find that newer models offer a slight edge.
Yeah, but let's not forget that technology isn't always about having the newest and shiniest gadgets.
Right.
Sometimes it's about finding the right tool for the job.
For sure.
Even if it's a few years old,
Right.
value is relative.
Totally.
And what matters most is how well a device meets your individual needs and budget.
For sure.
The Tab S6 Lite might not be the flashiest tablet on the market in 2024.
Yeah, but it's still got some things going for it.
It does. It offers a solid set of features
Uh-huh.
at a price that's likely more affordable
Right.
than newer models.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know, you don't always have to break the bank.
Right. And it brings us back to that question we posed earlier.
Okay.
Knowing what we know now about the Tab S6 Lite,
Yeah.
how does it fit into the bigger picture of your tech needs and priorities in 2024?
That's the real deep dive, isn't it?
It is. It's not just about specs and features.
No.
It's about understanding how technology integrates into our lives
Uh-huh.
and how our needs and expectations evolve over time.
Exactly. It's a constantly changing landscape.
It really is.
And we have to adapt.
So as you ponder that question,
Good.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite might be a product of 2020,
It's a little bit older now.
but its story is still being written.
Oh, I like that.
Its relevance, its value, its place in this ever-evolving world of technology,
Yeah, it's all up in the air.
that's something you, the listener, get to decide.
That's the power of the consumer.
And that is the beauty of technology.
That's true.
It's a constantly unfolding narrative.
Yeah.
And we all have a role to play
We're all part of the story.
in shaping its direction.
Beautifully said.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive
All right.
into the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite.
It's been a journey.
We've explored its specs, its features, its strength, its limitations, all through the lens of both 2020 and 2024.
We've covered a lot of ground.
And we've challenged you, the listener, to think critically about your own tech needs and priorities.
Yeah, do your research.
And to consider how a device from a few years ago might still hold relevance in today's world.
It's all about perspective.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time, keep those brains curious and those deep dives coming.
Stay curious out there.
So we've traveled back in time, explored the Tab S6 Lite in its 2020 glory, and then jumped ahead to see how it stacks up in 2024.
We've seen the specs, the design, the performance. We even thought about how the Tab S6 Lite would fit into your life back then and now.
But before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to you, the listener.
Because at the end of the day, any technology is only as good as how it works for the user, right?
Exactly. So let's do a little thought experiment. Imagine a time machine. You can go back to 2020, knowing everything you know now about the Tab S6 Lite and the tablets that came after it.
Okay, I'm game. What would I do?
Would you grab a Tab S6 Lite, knowing its strengths and weaknesses at that 2020 price?
That's a tough one.
Or would you wait for a newer model, maybe one that hasn't even come out yet?
It's a tricky decision.
Yeah.
The Tab S6 Lite offered a lot for the money, especially that S Pen.
Right. But tech has moved on since then. There are some areas where the Tab S6 Lite just can't compete with the new tablet.
Yeah, those AMOLED screens we talked about. And the processors, they're so much faster now.
And the cameras are amazing. They're almost as good as real cameras.
It would be hard to go back to a 2020 model, even one like the Tab S6 Lite.
But here's the thing. With tech, there are always trade-offs.
You're always trying to find the balance between features, how well it works, and the price.
And a lot of times, those new features come with a much higher price.
So maybe the Tab S6 Lite, even with its older tech, is still a good choice for some people.
Maybe the S Pen is the most important thing. Or maybe your budget doesn't allow for the latest model.
And that's totally fine. The goal here wasn't to tell you which tablet is the best.
It was about giving you the info, the background, and a bit of history so you can decide for yourself.
Because the best tablet is the one that works best for you, your budget, and your life.
Absolutely. So, as you think about your tech needs, remember what we learned about the Tab S6 Lite.
Technology is a journey, not a destination, right?
Value is different for everyone.
And stay curious. Keep learning.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep those brains engaged.